started my professional life as an airline pilot, and then during the war on DRC, which started in '96 and then really on '98, I've experienced really quite a lot of atrocity, and it has led me to go and do a master in international relations. A lot of people here in the Northeast haven't got any clue of what people have experienced in their homeland. And refugee and asylum seeker, they are people who are really lucky. They've escaped from dictatorship, they've escaped from human rights abuse, they've escaped death in somehow, and now they are here. They are facing misunderstanding of local citizens, especially in the Northeast.
When people arrive in the UK, they make their claim for asylum immediately, and they will be supported by the National Asylum Support Service. So they'll be allocated accommodation, very basic accommodation. There's lots of myths around the quality of support that people get, but it's basically, if a family go into a house, then if they're a family of 4, there will be 4 plates, 4 cups. You know, there are no luxuries. And they get cash support, which they collect from the post office.
My work was first to try to bring attention of those local citizens on the issue surrounding those asylum seekers and refugees. And then, secondly, I've set up 2 seminars at Tresor University. Why Tresor University? I believe that university is a place of education and where people have really highly valued.
So, to talk to you today, people who come from the DRC. First of all, this is Tresor Bukasa, who now works in the UK for the Regional Refugee Forum. And this is Elvis Katato, who is a freelance television presenter. So he's the only time I've ever seen him is at the other end of a camera.
What brought your attention to the issue of asylum seekers and refugees?
It sort of came to the forefront with an open day at the International Centre in Middlesbrough, and that coincided with the deportation of one of our students to the DRC.
I first became aware of the issue of asylum seekers in the North East when I was the first year tutor back in 1998, when I met some students who were refugees from Zimbabwe under Robert Mugabe's regime, and also through the church, and then through working with one of our master's students last year, Taib Kaznazani. He had sought asylum from Iraq during the troubles during the war in Iraq. So I knew a lot about it then, and then of course with the DRC raising awareness campaign as well.
So there's a huge asylum bureaucracy that's getting money from government and not doing the job properly. And see, I just don't know. How can you break down those barriers?
It disappoints me very much that the person spearheading the changes seems to be Vera Baird, who's one of our local MPs. And it has had a devastating impact. They can't find legal representation, or they have some very limited representation at the point of refusal when they're preparing for an appeal. But very often then that solicitor will pull out.
On the first meeting, Elvis gave a testimony and show you one of the programs he worked on, and you watch it, and what is your feeling, what is your feedback about that documentary?
I think it's really useful for people to see personal stories and to see the films the pictures that you took, that you used to illustrate your story, and I think it was an extremely useful and engaging way of actually getting to people and giving the opportunity for people to actually talk to somebody who's saying, I was there, this is what happened to me, I'm here now, and that is an extremely worthwhile exercise.
we see violence on the TVs every day and in programmes and in videos, and there's some atrocity happening here, there's another atrocity happening there, and it's one of the ways that charities use to raise money. But when you actually see someone face to face who's lived through this and has experienced it firsthand and is telling you what happened and telling it as it is, then it's much harder just to go home and get a good night's sleep.
What do you think of the mass rape of women, 45,000 a month? And this is what it's recorded, what it's known.
The effects of that particularly horrific crime is so far-reaching and affects not just that woman, but her family and her existing children, any possible children that are born as a result of the rape. It must be a priority in terms of funding.
It beggars belief that can go on in this day and age and it not be tackled at an international level. And it's not just the fact that so many women are being raped, it's the fact that 90% of the female population of a village can be raped, and we use the term female population because it's not just the adult women who are raped, and the idea that they could insist that a brother should rape his sister or be killed is just absolutely appalling. It's the worst form of torture and treatment of any human being. And if 10 women were raped in any town or city in England in one night, there would be a huge outcry, and what's happening in DRC is just